Well, we got one down, two to go. All right, I've got one window set where I want it. I know it looks a little high, but I'm gonna pour concrete in here up to the bottom of my, they call it a green board or treated board. I'm gonna pour concrete up to the bottom of it. I left the bottom treated board off because I'm gonna go back, and where I'm gonna pour concrete in here, I'm gonna insulate underneath this slab, and I'm gonna insulate the outside, and then I'm gonna either put some kind of Trex decking or PVC as my bottom, I guess, batter board that I will backfill up against and pour concrete against. I just don't like the idea of having wood in the ground. But so I've set this about 4.5 foot above that because in time we'll have workbenches in here, and so I didn't want this window to be down in front of a workbench. So I've got it, they're set about 4.5 foot, which you can see out, but mainly to let light in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this transit and I'm going to come around and get me a reference mark. That way I can set all these window sills the same height across through there, and I don't have to depend on this bottom board to measure up and check my level. So I'm going to take the transit, I'll get me a reference mark here, set it, and then I can go through and level off of that as I work my way through. All right, I'm gonna go through here and check all these posts and get me a reference mark. Now all I got to do is I'll come from my reference mark down to the bottom of my sill I've already got established, and that is 14 1/16. So I'll be able to go through each post, mark it down 14 1/16, and then I'll know the top of all my windows, the bottom sills, will be at the same level. So when you drive up the driveway, you won't see one window higher than the other. I'm gonna lay them out, and we'll try to frame another window. All right, we're good to go. Here's one quick tip. Most probably know this, but like I made this mark, and when you go out through here marking, trying to hold the end of it off the mark and then pull it down is kind of hard to do. So go up to an even number. In this case, you can go up to, well, it's down there, but go up to 10. Hold it on 10, and then you got 14 1/16, so you'd go to 24 1/16, and that way you can be a little more accurate, and you won't mess your mark by 1/16 trying to finagle with the end of that ruler. All right, let's case some windows. All right, we got it boxed in. I'm gonna go outside and measure for my blocks on the outside. We'll get them screwed up. We'll cut the wall girts out of the window. We'll be ready to move on to another one. About had a blooper reel. The lighter was leaning against the board I was cutting off. Not very smart. All right, we got the second one cased in. If you'll notice, we get just a little deflection in that. So what I'm gonna do is come on the inside with the 2x6 and run it on the inside and tie it back to that post, and I'll do the same thing over here, which we're pretty stiff over here. That'll stiffen that casing up and we'll be good to go. So we'll have to do a little fabrication over here to get this one fit in there, but it's next on the agenda. All right, I got one more window to frame in and we'll have this ready to go and ready for windows. Before I run out of daylight, I'll show you a quick update. They got the rest of the trusses sat earlier this week, and they've started running some of their trim metal around the building. They started on metal back there in the back, but the elevation of that walk-in door is not right. So we'll have to take that door back out and drop that header down so we can get the elevation right. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour concrete slab in the finished area, so the bottom of this green board is actually going to be the top of my concrete inside. So this door's cased in to work. We'll have to make that adjustment, but we're getting there. It's a process, but anyway, when we get this thing all closed in and complete, we got a lot of work to do in here, and I'm gonna have a lot of projects. We're going to finish this in metal in here, have a metal ceiling, and then we're going to put electric in here. We're going to put heat pump in here. We got to run our electrical. This is where our conduit comes in. It'll come up the outside and we'll have a meter box here. I'm going to set this up for a woodworking shop down the road. So I'm going to run a dust line underneath the concrete. We've got a lot of work to do, but I'll let my wife make an announcement. She had an idea about, we're going to build a house over here if you've not watched before. So she said, Travis, if we don't move up there, we'll never see you when you start building that house, which she's got a point. So I may let her make a public announcement on what we're going to do in this building here in the next few videos. But hey, if you watched, I appreciate it, and we'll bring you along for a ride. If you want to subscribe, we'll take you. And hey, hopefully we'll get her finished up here in a week or two.